musicians, creating the music we hear is hard work. But what we may not realize is the complexity of the process to select those pieces.
When I was in my undergrad, the orchestra coordinator there described it as a dragon with 50 heads. Just this concept of putting together a season in which you're satisfying all these different, sometimes opposing forces.
These forces are something many audience members are unaware of, like the impact of world events.
Great example would be the Russian invasion of Ukraine. How could we as an organization not acknowledge this is happening because it's on the mind of our community?
It made sense for us to even silently acknowledge that that this was a unique time in history and a point in which we don't want to we want to show solidarity for Ukraine. We don't want to overrepresent anything Russian. And we have certainly been careful with regards to historically Russian pieces that we have programmed for upcoming seasons.
In the North Country, the Orchestra of Northern New York removed the 1812 Overture from its summer programming. The Kingston Symphony took out select pieces from Russian composer Tchaikovsky, and Symphoria in Syracuse acted by putting together a musical benefit for Ukrainian refugees.
We knew it was important to do, so we quickly gathered our resources. We found Ukrainian composers, we found a Ukrainian conductor, and we put this concert together very quickly, and the audience responded very positively. It was a free concert, and we used it as a chance to fundraise for Ukrainian refugees in our area. And it feels really good to be a part of the community, to be responsive to what's happening in the world, and to have a place to do that.
Even without taking world events into account, creating an orchestral season is already a challenge.
The process that Symphoria goes through to pick our pieces each season is actually quite complex. But the magic of it is that the audience doesn't need to know that it's complex. It all happens behind the scenes.
For Symphoria and the Kingston Symphony, this behind-the-scenes process begins with committee discussions. Both orchestras consider themselves unique as their process not only involves the music director, but orchestra and board members.
All those different perspectives really help, keep the eye on the ball and refine the programming process. So it really is quite collaborative.
But it's very exciting. It's a little bit mix of data collecting and creativity. So to me, it's like this puzzle, it's like this 5,000 piece puzzle. We have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of choices for repertoire. So how do we pick repertoire? We always have in mind what the audience wants to hear or what we think the audience will really enjoy.
But there are other considerations other than what would I like to hear, and what would the orchestra like to play, and what do we think will sell tickets for the audience when you're putting something together.
If you've never been to an orchestra, take the trip with this new appreciation, bearing something else in mind.
Things have changed, as the saying goes, we're not your grandmother's orchestra.
Traditionally, applause is held for after an entire piece is completed. If unsure when to applaud, feel free to wait to see how others respond. But these musicians say it's okay to express if the music moves you.
Come as you are. I think Symphoria really believes that anyone should have the opportunity to listen to our music. So we don't want to have people feel restricted with that.
I think that it's actually far less restrictive than you might imagine, particularly for someone who is coming into a live orchestra concert for the first time.
It's a great atmosphere, and there is nothing like the sonic experience of a live orchestra.
Art isn't consumed in a vacuum. It's influenced by the events around us. Only time will tell how future events may shift things again. In Syracuse for WPBS Weekly, I'm Jolene DeRosier.